Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Just Get Hired podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Fiesta George. Today, I'm going to be the one spilling the sauce about something that's weighing on my mind and in my heart lately, and it's a topic I know a lot of you can relate to: burnout. I'm not talking about work burnout, but how burnout can hit us from so many directions, and sometimes it's the stuff that we don't even realize is weighing us down. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am currently experiencing burnout. That's why this podcast episode is late. And that is why I thought this topic could be relevant, because I know I'm not alone. And there's a lot of people out there who are also experiencing it. So interestingly enough, this has nothing to do with work. I feel like I'm doing great professionally. I just checked in with my boss. She seems to be happy with the work I'm doing. My client companies are happy. My team is crushing it. I'm taking on a lot of new responsibilities and new projects that are not only going to help me in my career, but will always have a positive impact in my success. Despite all of that, something inside of me is reaching max capacity, and I know I am not alone when I feel this way. You see, burnout isn't just about working too long or working too hard, but sometimes it comes from feeling like other areas of our life are being neglected or unfulfilled. And for me, it's this constant worry that as a mom, as a friend, an aunt, as a colleague, am I doing all of the things that people expect from me? As a mom, did I prepare my daughter enough? She's an adult, but have I prepared her enough for what's going to be happening in this world? As a wife, am I really present when I'm at home, or am I distracted? For my friends and my colleagues who expect a lot from me, do I give them the time that they need, or am I tired all the time and that's causing my burnout? So there's an emotional weight that I feel like I carry a lot from people that I care about. And for people who know me, that's just who I am. I have a lot of friends and colleagues who reach out to me who are struggling through their own level of burnout. They have their own level of anxiety, their level of financial stress, and a lot of uncertainty because of the job market and how it is today. So I start to internalize those worries, and their stress becomes my stress. And I know a lot of you do the same. And there's a lot of people out there who rely on us. And sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. So I have this internal battle. Again, I think a lot of my stress is self-induced. There's this battle between what I want and what I need. And I'm always the person who's going to find a way to make sure I get both. So there's that pressure. How do I keep climbing? How do I keep pushing forward? How do I keep reaching that next goal? And what happens if I don't do that and I don't know how to get there? So it's exhausting. And then, of course, there's health, your mental health, your physical health. I just celebrated a milestone birthday, and part of doing that, I wanted to make sure I got the complete workup. I'm going to be okay. I know some of my little health struggles are not significant compared to what other people are going through right now, but I've done everything right for the most part. I eat healthy, I exercise, I take care of myself. But the truth is, stress of burnout can creep into our health too. And even though I'm going through all of the series of tests that your doctor makes you go through when they're trying to figure out if everything's okay, there's that layer of uncertainty that what if they find something, and that's adding another level of stress to my life right now. So it's just a lot. But yes, I'm experiencing burnout. It's not only impacting a lot of other areas of my life. For instance, this podcast. I've been trying my due diligence to live up to the expectation that I created for myself, that I will get a podcast episode each week. I failed on a few weeks, but again, those were moments when I was experiencing burnout. But that is why I thought this episode would be helpful, because life isn't perfect and things don't always go your way, but it has been impacting a lot of different things in my life. The podcast is one. There's certain goals that I've set for myself that I want to create from these episodes that I haven't even gotten to yet. So there's even more that I hope to share with you from that. But my job, you have different layers of stress there. Of course, like I said, my job's doing fine, but you have your daily stressors that happen all the time. And then my life, my relationships, my different hobbies, just everything. And I know I'm not alone when I talk about this. And a lot of you out there are probably battling the same feelings. And for those of you who know me, you see me on social media, I have a smile on my face. I'll say about, 95% of the time. But that's why I wanted to share this with you today. Burnout is real, and it's not just about work, it's about life. It's about feeling overwhelmed by everything that's on our plates, even when we feel like we're doing the right things, right? It feels like we're carrying the world on our shoulders and that we're sinking. And sometimes I feel that way. But here's the thing. I wanted to make sure that even though I'm sharing all of these personal feelings with you, that I make sure we end this on a positive note, because burnout is tough. There's ways to manage through it. We get through it. We come stronger on the other side. You've probably read books. You've probably talked to people going through burnout. We all go through different phases. The first step is to recognize it. I think that's why I'm doing this podcast episode, because I recognize I have reached the ceiling. But we have to be honest with ourselves. We feel overwhelmed, but it's okay to feel that way. And you're not failing. It just means that you need to take a step back and breathe. And I will take my own advice. Also, setting boundaries. It's easy to take on too much, and it's easy to say yes to everything. Those of you who know me know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that you feel supported, you get everything you need, and I will always say yes to you. But sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to learn how to say no. So I will do better with that. But that saying no can help protect your time, your energy, and your mental health. So I will do better with saying no. Prioritizing self-care. Now, I loved having spa days. I think getting your nails done, massages, and all of the facials, all of those are great things. But there's other things too that can help us recharge, and we need to do a little bit more of that. That could be taking a walk, taking an actual lunch break where you step away from your desk. You don't eat at your desk. You go meet a friend for lunch. Go have lunch by yourself. That is one of the things I love to do, is just to sit in silence for a few minutes. Spending time with your loved ones. If you have animals, go spend time with your pet. Go give them love and kisses. Whatever fills your cup, we have to make time for it. And the last thing is just leaning on each other. I posted something similar on my LinkedIn this morning, and that's kind of what inspired this episode, because I got a huge outreach of support from people that I didn't even think were looking at my post, people who I haven't heard from in a long time. Trust me, like I said, I'm going to be okay, because I recognize when I start feeling this way, I just need to talk about it. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. But lean on each other. We are not meant to go through life alone. And if you need to talk to a friend, a therapist, if you want to share your story, even with me, I can be a good listener. People tell me I'm a good listener all the time. If you want someone who will vent and be in your corner, I will be that woman. So reach out to me, and trust me, I don't want you to feel like you're also alone. But letting people in can really make a difference. And I really appreciate people who reached out to me on LinkedIn and sent me text messages and emails. Like I said, I'm going to be okay. But as we wrap up this episode, I want you to understand that burnout really does not define you. And it's just a chapter in our life that just keeps continuing to seep its way through, but it's not our whole entire story. We need to learn how to take care of ourselves, set healthy boundaries, focus on what truly matters to you, and never hesitate. If you need to reach out to someone to help you, like I said, reach out to me. I am always here for you, but there is always someone who is there for you. So don't ever feel like you're alone. If you're looking for ways to manage burnout, especially if you're a job seeker, I did an episode 73, where I talked about strategies to handle specific stress in your job search. That's another topic for another discussion. like I said, I did an episode. Go back to that if that's something you're experiencing, because the majority of my audience are job seekers who are feeling that frustration that they apply for jobs and they're not getting anything back. I get it. I have friends who've been on the job market for nearly a year now, and I've been doing everything that I can to help, and I just don't really know what else that I can do except to be there for them, to listen to them, and to help them in any way that I can. Episode 14 is another episode where I talked about burnout with a guest of mine, and we talked about ways to navigate through it. So I think I'm going to go back and listen to that episode, but hopefully this is a little bit of a motivational episode for you. If you're going through it, I'm going through it too. Someone next to you is probably going through it in their own way, but I want to thank you guys for being a part of my journey. If this episode resonated with you, please share this with someone, because there are a lot of people who just need to hear that they're not alone. As always, make sure that you're taking care of yourselves, and I appreciate all of your support. Next week, I will have another Spill the Sauce series, a little bit more positive with another guest of mine, but we're closing out the summer series that we call Spill the Sauce, sponsored by our friends at the Spicy Gnome. We are here to spice up your life and your career, so head over to thespicygnome.com. Don't forget, subscribe, share this with your friends, leave me comments. That helps boost up so many ratings. Follow me on all of my social media channels at Just Get Hired. But again, please take care of yourself, and please reach out if I can do anything for you. But my name's Jessica Fiesta George, your host of the Just Get Hired podcast, and I will catch you